Why do we need natural language processing NLP tools within the IDEA4-RC data space?
So there are also two main important points here. The first one is that there is a lot of data buried into the text that hospitals held. Okay, so these are data coming from the clinician's notes, data coming from the pathological reports, radiology reports, anamnesis, and so on. So there is a lot of data that needs to be extracted and identified to afterwards being capable of querying for that data for doing further research. But also there is another important point for the IDEA4-RC perspective, from the IDEA4-RC perspective, that is we are working with rare cancers, right? So there is no much data. So every piece of data that we can obtain is so valuable for the researchers in the end, since the data is so scarce in this sense.
What were the first steps in building NLP tools?
So we identified what we wanted to obtain. That's the first point. And the second point was, how are we going to obtain it, right? So what kind of model and what kind of approach we need to follow to obtain the data. So we are working with NLP models. Most of them need to be trained, right? So for this, what we decided to go is to perform some annotation processes in the centers that somehow they guide the NLP models to learn and to realize what kind of data and where they need to look at the data to being capable of extracting that information from the free text.
What does it mean to annotate a text?
For annotating a text, it's like when you try to read a really long document and you start highlighting some parts to then create a summary. Okay, so the idea is basically similar. So a clinician needs to go through the patient notes, needs to read the patient notes, and to identify where in the text you can find words or sentences that relate to some data that we are looking for. So for instance, if we are looking for the condition that the patient may suffer, sarcoma of head and neck, for instance, if the patient is diagnosed with sarcoma of head and neck, the clinician in this case should highlight that sentence and then relate it to the condition for the IDEA4-RC data model. And then in this way, the NLP model should know that for identifying the condition should look at this kind of data, at this kind of words, better said.
How are you managing the annotation process?
So from the IDEA4-RC project, we proposed to use the CliniNotes annotation software, which basically has been an ad hoc annotation software developed to be deployed, let's say, in the centers, so they have an easy way to proceed with the annotations. But anyway, we have several different realities in the centers. Some of them didn't want to use an external tool, so we gave them the opportunity to use their own annotation tools and their own NLP systems, so we could adapt to every situation and every scenario.
Where do we stand now, and what are the next steps?
Yeah, so basically currently the centers are annotating the data, and what we aim to do is we want to train the IDEA4-RC NLP models, and then we will deploy the IDEA4-RC NLP models, so once they are already trained, they can obtain data and they can extract data from the free text in an automatical way. So this would be a sustainable approach to getting all the data in a structured format. So then all the data will go into the IDEA4-RC capsules, into the IDEA4-RC environment, and then the researchers or the end users for the IDEA4-RC platform will be able to query for the data. So this should be the process that we are currently working on.